Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, the 26th of March. This is your morning setups. You can see here this morning, futures are mostly flat. We haven't had a lot of movement overnight. We're down just a little bit right now, but not really down all that much comparatively speaking after the wild close we had yesterday. You can see we went up a little bit more, came down, we were down lower. We're kind of just drifting around ahead of the jobless numbers, which are expected at 8:30. So we're about an hour off of that. On the economic front today, we do have is those jobless numbers. They're expected to be in the millions. So just be aware, we're expecting big numbers. International trade comes out at the same time. And you got Bullard's going to speak, and Powell's already been speaking as well. And, I expect them both to be accommodative and supportive as they have been so far during this. So where do we look at today? Let's just jump into what's going on here. So on the ES, you can see the overnight move. Again, just drifting around, no real power. This is one of the lower volume sessions we've had in a long time. Look how low the volume is. Only 341,000 contracts traded on the ES overnight. Very low compared to where we've been. So this has been a very, very quiet overnight session as everybody kind of comes in waiting to see what happens here. So first night, we don't have a lot of big move. In fact, just look at the range. Very, very on the daily chart here, very tight range candle. As we come into this, you can see here, very tight range, not moving all that much here as we're down here, as we're off the lows, but haven't moved that far, though we have now been above the 8-day for 3 days, closing above it. Well, today would be day 3, but you can see how we're trying to hold in. What else is going on out there? Crude and commodity world. Crude, again, bear flag formation. I see no hope here unless Russia and Saudi Arabia start talking and get off this course. They're not doing that right now, so better places to look. Bonds kind of waffling around. You have this tight little wedge pattern that's kind of slowly playing itself out here, not really going anywhere. Gold gave that huge move a couple days ago, now giving a lot of it back. Again, no follow through, no commitment. What else is going on out there? The VIX can't get under 50, remains elevated, right? Came down the other day, didn't quite get there, back up yesterday. But the VIX is not quite acting the same right now. It's not going. When the market has big fear, the VIX isn't spiking like it used to. And we keep an eye on the bonds, and you see the corporate junk bonds here trying to rally off the lows. If these start to go, look for the markets to go with it, something to keep in mind. So that kind of brings us to today. And today, here we are trading currently around 244. We'll look at sentiment real quick, and that has changed. To put the call spiked up into the neutral zone. We held in there yesterday. So, good for either way. We're no longer in the sentiment is not overly bearish as it has been for the last month. You can see we've pretty much been spiked down here into this big bearish zone. Finally, we're coming out of that a little bit. The oscillators have shot up to slightly overbought, believe it or not. The NIMOT here, all the way from this signal down here of negative 425, is now plus 90. So just starting to get, it can go higher. It's not dangerous, not this is where I wouldn't say be careful with your entrances yet, but it's getting hotter, and you can see the actions change. And the NIMOT went all the way to, oops, that wasn't NIMOT, the NAMOT, which tracks the NASDAQ, is at plus 100. So you can see here the big change has taken place. The oscillators have switched now from neutral to going into the hot zone. And last but not least, breadth. And breadth indicator has finally crossed the moving average for the first time since we broke it up here. We crossed above the moving average, signaling that we possibly have a trend change. We'll watch. Oftentimes the first time or two will be a head fake. You go up or not, may or may not hold. So we'll have to see how this kind of plays out here, but definitely crossed that yesterday. So what everybody's focused on today is the jobless claims. Now, non-farm payroll is next Friday. Jobless claims is usually not a big number for the market. This one may be just a little bit different because it's expected to be huge. We're hearing millions potentially of jobless claims. So right now we're trading at 244. You can see the volume's not here today. And what I mean by that, if you go to a 5-minute chart on the SPY, you look at the volume here, very, very low, very, very low spikes here. And go back to, for example, yesterday pre-market. And we'll open this up right in here. And you can see that once 7 o'clock came, right? You see the volume just started spiking here, all this big volume coming in. And we don't have that here. And that's been the MO of this market. We don't have it today. The reason we don't have it today, the market's focused on that jobs number. So instead of putting big volume in here, it's waiting to see what happens. So currently here we are. Again, we're trading right around this 244 area. So for today, my ideas for today are very simple. I said let's do the upside first. To the upside, Again, I think the high in this market, if this market really wants to get loose, it bounces up to 270. At that point, I think that's where the market will come back in and say they've had enough if it can get there. Notice the 21 days now came underneath it, so that could be to stop there at 266. So keep those numbers in mind. This 247.50 area has been a grudge area for this market through here. You can see all the candles wrapped around it. We closed below it again yesterday, right at and below it. This is the spot you have to hold above, and we have not yet been able to do it. So until we can, you just realize that continues to be a major problem for this market. This 247.50 area is a control point. Right? So for today, you get above that, then you take out the high of yesterday, and you're into this little gap area all the way up to roughly 262, and then maybe up to 270. To the downside, if they don't like the number, if the number scares the crap out of them worse than they expected, take out yesterday's low, which is down here around 230, 240 area, and watch down below. Take out 233, you have this open gap down to 228, and then you start watching for a retest of the bottom. What we're looking for in this market is a higher low at some point to signal a bottom. So it come down, push up, come down, don't go down quite as low, or maybe a double bottom, make a W bottom, but something along those lines. So we'll see. So be on guard after this number today, see what they want to do. Bear in mind the initial move may be a red flag, a red herring, right? Trying to get everybody to chase the wrong direction. So what am I focused on today? Well, to the long side, I'm going to focus on the names that continue to show they want. Crowd's had a nice move off the lows on a great earnings report. Up basically double its price from 31 almost to 60. I trimmed some of mine, even though it took some of a loss on it, because I just wanted to free up some cash. Because if it drops down, this is a name I want to buy back cheaper. So I was hoping if it drops down to get it back down here around this 45 area, and I'd go back to a full size position and bring it up in stock. So Crowd continues to look good. They got a point increase this morning. Micron had earnings yesterday. They were good. Guidance was in line, which is good considering this. They said the data center is making up for the softer sales they're seeing in the other part of the DRAM environment. Keep an eye on this one. A bunch of price increases and upgrades this morning. Takes out 4631, can run. Takes out this, keep an eye on how it trades, right? Made a little bit of money on this one yesterday. Right now, as it can hold above this 4490 area, that would be an area to try to take it as well. So keep an eye on it, see how it trades today. This one's definitely on my focus list, something I want to watch to see if we can get some kind of follow through. Square's had a couple of excellent days, yesterday, well off that lows. Traded this again yesterday, made nice money on it. Now see how it sets up. Notice the 21-day came in, stopped there, down a little bit this morning. See what it wants to do. It's got another gap that starts up around this 57.40 area to fill on this chart. So another one I would keep my eyes on for the long. I will continue to play TQQQ and SQQQ. These have been very liquid. They've been trading very well for me. And in and out of them, you don't need size. The way they're moving, you can take your size down, trade those. If we sell off, puts have been working very well on the indexes, on the volatility, and we'll see where we go from there. Bottom line is watch for the names that are stronger in this environment and watch for the names that act better. Now got a couple upgrades in the last couple of days. ServiceNow trying to hang in there, doing okay. I may go back to Tesla if we pop. Those 700 calls doubled quickly yesterday on very small action. I may go back into those again today if the market looks stronger. Tesla starts to look like it's going to bounce. So keep an eye on those. Those are lottos, those weeklies. They're working good. Stephen's idea is right. If you would only grab whatever you're going to grab an equal number of them. And if you get a double, sell half, the rest of the trade is free. We were getting into these around 31 cents yesterday. So just keep that in mind. So we'll keep an eye on this one if it wants to go. Bottom line, if the market takes off, pick your names, pick your favorite squeeze names to play, pick the names that look good. We've seen them constantly coming from Microsoft, has been very strong, holding up back, trying to get back above the 200-day, couldn't quite close over it. Apple was also trying to close over the 200-day yesterday, couldn't quite do it after it got smacked with that news that they might be delaying the 5G iPhone. Right? So these are two names that have been acting well. NVIDIA, another one that continues to act very well, gave a reversal candle yesterday, but keep an eye on it. Same thing with AMD. So, you look at those names, they continue to act well in this space. Just quickly, touch base here. Zoom, little weakness here in this name after a long, huge run. Up a little bit this morning, we'll see. Gilead, people out there trying to pump that drug of theirs, saying this is it, this is the cure, this is the fix. Please be careful. People are pumping this that have no idea what they're talking about. They're just picking up on articles and stuff that other people are doing out there, and they're throwing it around like they know everything. Whether this is or not, they'll prove this out in data and trials and data, and we'll go from there. So with that said, I hope everybody has a fabulous day. Again, my focus will be on those long names if we're good, and if we're not doing good, I'll probably pound SQQQ again, or maybe even try some cheap puts on Tesla or something like that at this point. Everybody have a fabulous day trading. The room opens at 9. I'll see you then. To anybody not out there, if you're interested in learning, $25 for the first month, $100 a month thereafter. Cancel anytime. Links in the description. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.